Hi everyone, welcome back to Shred Guitar in the 80s. Today's going to be a fun episode. We're going to look back at the year 1987 and guitar for the practicing musician and decide if that was maybe the best year for neoclassical metal. And we're also going to look at the harmonic minor scale and the chords related to it. So let's get started. So I was getting ready to do an episode on Warren DeMartini and Jakey Lee and the time they were roommates together, and I broke out this old guitar for the practicing musician from February 1987 with those two on the cover, which I'll be doing in a feature episode. The amazing thing is, when I came to the record review section, it was called The Vinyl Score by Buzz Morrison. I was blown away at the releases. And it got me thinking that really this had to be the peak era for neoclassical metal. Late 86, early 87. You had Tony McAlpine just released Edge of Insanity prior to that. And Yngwie was putting out albums, it seemed like every other month. He had put out his Rising Force, then Marching Out. He'd done 2 albums with Alcatraz in a very short period of time. This issue alone has these albums, which is amazing. You have Trilogy by Yngwie, Ruler of the Wasteland by Chastain, Mind's Eye by Vinnie Moore. You have Pump It by Jeff Berlin with an appearance from Paul Gilbert. And then you have 2 Holdsworth albums in here, Metal Fatigue and Attavictron, which is just unbelievable for them to be reviewing all those albums in one issue, all classics of the genre. Trilogy is really regarded as maybe Yngwie's best album during this period by a lot of fans. You have the amazing You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget, Liar, which when I think of Trilogy, I always think of that riff in Liar. You have Queen Is in Love, Crying, the amazing instrumental, The Fury, Fire, which is kind of starts out kind of almost a Van Halen riff variation of Unchained almost, I think, a little bit. Magic Mirror, really cool drop D song. Dark Ages, another killer tune, and then the amazing Trilogy Suite, Opus 5. But just an amazing album that I still go to all the time, being a huge Yngwie fan. So here's what the writer Buzz Morrison thought of Trilogy at the time. He thought the performance was gothic, and he thought the hottest songs on the album were Crying, Magic Mirror, and You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget. And then his bottom line was a more rounded gush of Swedish hysterics. I think really the opinion at the time was that it was a more rounded album. Everything was more concise, the solos were concise, the songs were really constructed. Yngwie took a lot of care in constructing the songs. Kind of in the Dio and Rainbow mode, kind of a mixture I think on that album. And the song Crying was, I think, one of his most beautiful things to that point and still to this day. Just an amazing track. And when he comes in with that crying electric guitar at the end, it just always brings goosebumps and shivers to me. Overall, I just think Trilogy's an amazing album, and I can see why the fans love it. So today, keeping with the neoclassical theme, I thought it would be a lot of fun to show you the chords that go with the harmonic minor. It's amazing all the people that play harmonic minor and don't realize all the chords that you can play with the harmonic minor scale. I'm using my Kramer replica, so I'm tuned down half step. So we're going to use A harmonic minor. We're going to use the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, back to A. So it's a minor scale with the sharp 7. The first chord you can play would be A minor. Or you can play A minor with the major 7 added, and A minor major 7, which I love to do. I love that sound. Then The next chord would be B minor 7 flat 5. Then you have a C major 7 sharp 5. Then you can play D minor or D minor flat 5. You can play E major next or E7. Then F major. Then you can play sharp diminished or diminished 7. And go back to the A minor. Or A minor major 7. So that's a little something I just wrote today, messing with the chords. I would recommend learning all the shapes, the different inversions and arpeggios of all those chords. And it will give you a lot more to write from and play off of than just the normal kind of E major to F major kind of thing we hear a lot. Another album he reviewed in this issue is David T Chastain's Ruler of the Wasteland. I just love this album. In fact, I love all of Chastain's work. I think David Chastain is a great guitar player. He's from Ohio like me, and he played at Kramer, which is a big plus. But I love David's songwriting. I think it's just some great American power metal, and his guitar playing is always real snaky and unpredictable. And I just love his phrasing. It's really fluid when he plays the metal stuff, and it's just always a lot of fun to listen to, and that's the main thing for me. The bottom line is Chastain's fun. Here's what Buzz Morrison said about Chastain's Ruler of the Wasteland during that period. He called it fiercely fused, and he said the hot spots were One Day to Live, Angel of Mercy, and There Will Be Justice. And Angel of Mercy definitely is a classic metal tune from that era. He said, Purist Driven Metal, the second album from Cincinnati guitar whiz David Chastain's metal band, takes a step beyond the first. He said Chastain labeled his music as classimistic, which is kind of cool. I like that. I play classimistic metal. The album has some great riffs on it, like Fighting to Stay Alive. Just a fun album. If you haven't listened to David's music, I really recommend it. It's fun. The other neoclassical album he reviewed in this issue is the immortal Mind's Eye, which I consider one of the top neoclassical, maybe instrumental rock albums during that period for sure, and of all time. Just an amazing album, and if you've watched my channel at all, you know I'm a huge Vinnie Moore fan. Here's what Buzz had to say about Mind's Eye. He called the performance dramatic, and he said the hot spots were The Journey, Shadows of Yesterday, and Daydream. I might agree with that. Shadows of Yesterday and Daydream are definitely two of the most amazing neoclassical tunes ever written. And the bottom line, he says another phenom struts his metallic stuff. So 1987 was definitely an amazing year for neoclassical metal. You also had Speed Metal Symphony come out, I believe, that year with Cacophony and Jason Becker and Marty Friedman. And Joey Tafoya is Out of the Sun. So a pretty remarkable year for neoclassical guitar playing. thanks a lot for hanging out with me. It sure was fun looking back at the year 1987 in neoclassical metal. If you like this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And to all of you that have and have been leaving comments and likes, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm really having fun doing this. So thanks for hanging out with me and have fun picking.